begins with awareness, with saying, I like the question, before you eat something, sometimes to ask yourself, how is this going to make me feel? How am I going to feel after I eat this? Is this contributing to health? Because all of our choices are either contributing to our health or taking away from it, right? Hello and welcome to our podcast. Today again, I have Dr. Rudy Kachman with me. Hello.
Thank you, Kelly, for inviting me again.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Today we're really talking about the complete picture of wellness, living to 100, and what does it take kind of from a holistic stance in order to maintain good health?
Right, and to be looking good.
And to look good and to feel good and...
Yeah, you don't want to live the last 20 years of your life disabled in a wheelchair. We've been teaching you how to be healthy, to exercise and to dance and have a good memory, to play some sports. And it can be done. It can be done. I've sort of put together, which I've been using for years, and I'll share that. So the Culture of Wellness Circle, about 8, I call it the Magic 8. I'm kind of sure, Terry, you can get a copy from me.
Yes,
Kelly.
you can download a copy of this from your website.
From my website.
Which is diabetessupportfw.com.
Yeah, thank you for saying that again. And what I'm saying is that this circle of wellness here, if you do that, you probably will live to be 100 and look great and feel great and enjoy life.
You're a good
That's the important thing, that a lot of people have diabetes and these diseases. First of all, they cut their life short 20 years, and then the previous 20 years they're disabled. If you follow our podcast, odds are higher than 90% that a lot happened to you. And so let's review these 8 a little bit.
Yes.
And like your comments too. I mean, you have to assume some self-responsibility and a choice.
And awareness really starts with that, don't you think? Because some people, they're not aware
of
the damage.
No idea it can be done. We doctors, I'll be honest with you, I'm a doctor, but I think we doctors have not been doing a job teaching most people that most diseases are preventable.
Yeah, your bodies are designed.
We've been just writing prescriptions and doing procedures, and I've done both. Wellness is sort of overtaking my life as the way I taught patients, and it's scientific, and a lot of it you yourself though must seek it and assume some self-responsibility that you do the things that we spoke about, right?
Absolutely.
And if you don't eat the right food, if you don't exercise, if you don't think optimistically that this can be done, it probably will not happen.
Absolutely. It's so important to have your mind in the game, your mindset, and to that self-responsibility, like you said. I think it begins with awareness, with saying, I like the question, before you eat something, sometimes to ask yourself, how is this going to make me feel? How am I going to feel after I eat this? Is this contributing to health? Because all of our choices are either contributing to our health or taking away from it, right?
Yes. You have an occasional misstep. Like I did this weekend when I went to Atlanta, when I had a little more of something I normally don't eat. But I'll be honest with you, I weighed myself this morning, the same weight. Yeah. So it's because I've been doing it for so long that a misstep now and then don't harm yourself, because it'll happen. You'll still make the goal. Number 2 is that most important thing after that really is, once you decide, is proper nutrition. You must have the knowledge to know what is good food, what is bad food. But if you look at our website, you will see it clearly described. We even speak about the type of food, and you eat till you're full. And what I found, which I've said on the other podcasts, is that if you can somehow do some fasting, which we describe in detail in one of our DVDs, and sort of turn it into 2 meals if possible, which is easy. I do that all the time. And with that, I'm never hungry, feel energetic. Now that, that I'm 39 for the 46th time, add them up, feel great, no pills.
You're a testament.
Going to play pickleball after this.
That's right.
And so I do practice, what I preach. Tell us, Kel, a little bit about physical fitness. What do you do in terms of physical fitness?
Oh, that's a good question. Thanks for asking. I have to get up and move my body every day. I have to break a sweat every day. And so for me, I really focus on the idea of agility. I don't want to get hurt. I want to think about my strength, my flexibility, quick response to falling or changing directions. So every day do something different. One day I'll run, the next I'll do boxing.
Is that right?
Another day I do cycling. Another day I do I really like step classes and dance classes, and I even do Tai Chi and meditation. So I kind of look at myself and say, where do I need, and I get in stretching, strength training, and agility.
Do you put them up on YouTube, or do you have an instructor?
I love the questions. Yeah, it's a great question. I have classes that I take every week that I never miss, that are done with an instructor in person that I love.
Wow.
And then I run by myself with my music, and then I have videos that I do that I pull up in the morning, and that will do my stretching, my meditation. I even have a step at home.
Yeah.
And I do, I do the hip hop, the big step, and it's really fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I have watched for years the morning classical stretch.
Yeah.
It's on PBS.
Oh, nice.
On at 6 or 7 in the morning. Jasmine White, I think is her name. That's a good one to follow. There are many different ways. It doesn't cost me anything.
Yeah.
And she teaches beautiful stretching, and I am now it's getting to be such a habit for me.
It's so mental, isn't it? I think when I'm running and I'm moving, my mind is just kind of unraveling things. I'm working on things through my head, and then you get endorphins and you feel good, and you get everything moving. Your blood is pumping, your adrenaline is going, and this helps create movement. And we know that movement is so related to your health. Anything stagnant is not good. Your body needs to be in constant motion, and then
it'll hurt after a while too.
Yes.
So I think it's very important that you pick out what you like to do, what you can do. For some people, it's just taking a walk.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I
actually, for years,
just get moving.
I've taken a walk in the morning, even on some, not the nicest days in the world, and I'm looking at the birds and just singing at me, and I'm singing back on them. It's about 40 minutes I do, to the point it's real pleasure. And I've even learned to sing a few songs, make me feel good.
Yes.
The birds tweet back at me. Even the deer are wagging their tails. So if you can make your exercise fun, I think that's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The next one I have here, which you discussed in some detail around, is spirituality. I think if you can add some spirituality to your life, even if you're not religious, but if you are, it doesn't matter what religion that you have, but to follow them and relate it to your health, I think it's good.
Absolutely. It's and its purpose too.
Yeah.
It's doing something beyond yourself and believing in a higher power, something more powerful than yourself, in order to keep you going and keep that rapid change and stay connected to that life force energy.
Yeah, and most religions, tell you not to drink, smoke. Even nutrition is many references, even in the Bible. The most, and the Hindu and the Muslim religion, they all have in them fasting, for example.
Oh, yes.
is in every spiritual book. So I think that's important one. So that goes back, thousands of years. The next one I have, make it a way of life, a process.
Yes,
that you teach it to your children.
Yes.
That you teach it even to your animals.
Yeah.
My animals, I take them for a walk every day, and I hug them every day.
Yes.
And of course, I feel better
because
they hug me back.
Yes.
So I think to make it involve the whole family, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, about proper nutrition and exercise and music and spirituality.
Yes.
And I think it's a wonderful thing.
It's like your whole vibration, you're bringing that positive energy up and you're expressing it.
And if you're eating this way, your skin looks good and have a smile on your face. You'll walk in the room and there's something different. I notice at my age 39, for the 46th time, wherever I go, people, what's that all about? It's a picture of health. That's the way I want you to be. We're trying to teach you. I think it's important, the other one I have here is integrating the mind, the body, and the spirit, so that your mind, which a lot of people don't really realize, that through chemistry, that your mind, that your gut makes more neurotransmitters. That's the hormones that jump between the axons and the dendrites. And your gut makes 75% of the serotonin that makes you feel good long term. Your gut, not your brain. The brain makes part of it, but the gut makes a lot of it, and then it gets in the bloodstream and the nerves and affects your brain. So we have a mind-body connection. How you think, your mood, whether you're depressed or whether you're on a keto diet and you feel wonderful because you're living on ketones, affects your whole body. The cells have on them neurotransmitters, which take the message from the hormone, send it to your cell, and I'm feeling wonderful, I'm feeling great, but that's chemically produced. It's not just some imaginary thing that you can produce. There's chemistry behind that. If you're eating the way we described, good 50-60% good fats, 20% proteins, about 15% vegetables and fruit, then you'll feel this way. You'll probably live to be 100 and look good.
Yeah, can I say that my necklace is, my triangle is mind, body, and spirit?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Now I'll look at you differently.
Now you'll know. That's what that means. I've had the same necklace on for like 10 years, so I never
That's
took
great.
it
No
off.
wonder she's smiling all the time.
Yeah, you have to.
And moving, and then I know you like to exercise and dance, and it affects the whole body.
It does. It's your whole vibration.
The whole vibration. Lastly, too, I think we need to. You are what your blood tests are. If you show me your blood tests, I can pretty much tell you what you look like, what you weigh. Yeah, I've been in this long enough that I can about know that. So I do think to look at health risk factors, know your numbers, put them in a book, put them on the internet, do it for your children, every one of your kids. Make sure that they get tested, once a year if you're healthy. But I'd be honest with you, if you get a medical problem, every 3 months, so that you can act on it. You can do things about it and say, Kelly, what do I need to know? And you can go to your website, my website, ask those questions, attend our lectures, watch our TV shows, watch our DVD, download our podcast and YouTube shows, radio shows, to gather information. And what do you think are the really important blood tests? And I'll tell you my thought too. What are you thinking should the people be getting?
Yeah. Well, we've been dealing quite a bit with the GFR, the filtration rate. When you're talking about your
filtration
kidneys.
rate, kidney disease. I think it's very important because there's 5 stages to kidney disease. And the first 3 stages, people have no symptoms. And by the time they have symptoms, you're on stage 4. then they want to dialyze you and you're going to need a new kidney in 2 years. We want you to catch it very early. So through prevention, we never get you to those advanced stages.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so. The GFR.
Yeah, and then the serum insulin.
Serum insulin, yeah, thank you for bringing that up. It's interesting. Odds are your provider will not bring that up. But Joseph Kraft, K-R-A-F-T, a copy of his book we showed on our other shows, University of Illinois, I'm telling you, as far as 1990s, he started publishing papers on that. And what he showed, that type 2 diabetes, which probably 90% certain racial groups have got, white people at least 70%, okay? Asians, Chinese right now run a high rate because McDonald's moved there.
Oh, can you believe
that? Yeah.
Introduce the American food in life.
Yeah, so it's the type of food they're eating. Before that, they didn't have that rate of diabetes. So I think an HbA1c, which measures your blood sugar for 3 months, so what it was on average 3 months, I think that's an important test. But serum insulin anticipates diabetes by 10 to 15 years.
Wow.
So if you run serum insulins, even on children, and we all get it, and our blood sugars are normal, serum insulin may be elevated, and if you follow our way of eating, you'll never get this diabetes, which can cause 30 to 50 chronic diseases, from dementia to visual loss to cataracts to dental disease to thyroid disease to boom, I'm dead, heart attacks, strokes, liver transplants, kidney transplants, amputations, dislocations, all can be prevented by eating the way we describe. And if you're on that path already, it can be stopped, and it can be, most of the time, even reversed. They found that people who've been, Jason Fong from Toronto has said, even if you've been on medication, insulin, say for 20, 30 years, that if you then go on a path of prevention, eat the way we describe, exercise, and do these things, the fat will leave the pancreas and the liver, and insulin is secreted again, and you can still save yourself. Jason Fong, F-U-N-G, has that in his book. I mean, that's wonderful news.
It's amazing.
So it's not just prevention, it's stopping and reversing. And also I think a CRP, which measures inflammation in your body, you know, I think.
The kind of your warning sign that something might be off.
And if kidney, besides the GFR kidney thing, BUN, serum creatine is another one that indicates how good the kidney is filtering your system. I think is good, and kind of, and your weight's important, but it's not everything. Even thin people, you wouldn't believe this, even thin people can be on the path to severe illness, even have the illness. 20% of the thin people still can have diabetes. And we describe, you know, type 1, where the pancreas is destroyed. But people who have gluten disease or lectin disease, so you need to learn a little bit of the science of that from our other DVDs. The information is there. So to get some gluten testing done. Celiac disease is a really advanced disease, gluten sensitivity. A lot of people have that. So you need to have some knowledge about it. That's described in that.
So we can definitely put a download. We've put in some together in the past that can just give you a list of blood work that we suggest. Again, just get on the mailing list for Dr. Ketchman's website. And can I say, we kind of touched on the idea you mentioned. You said, you know, we have videos and we have books to recommend, and we have all of this material. And I think that, you know, like Dr. Ketchman said, consuming that material is very helpful. But I think even more than that, it's really about the idea of conditioning. It's over a long period of time to keep your mind there. It's one thing to get motivated and to understand information, but motivation eventually kind of wears down. So what you really need to do is take advantage of all these resources so that you can continue to keep yourself on track. So it's conditioning over a long period of time, and that's why there's so many options for material.
Yeah, and record your weight. But remember, some thin people can be quite sick too, and a few that are overweight who metabolically in the blood tests are perfectly normal. But don't assume that you are. Get the blood test done. A lot of people say, oh, I'm not diabetic, my blood sugar is normal, but your insulin may have been elevated, and you save yourself a lot of trouble by doing what we suggest that you do. So I think by going through all our podcasts here,
Totally.
I think you gain tremendous knowledge, and you look good, and you can dance with me. I take tap dancing lessons all the time.
You do,
I'll
it's
play
great.
pickleball at 100. And Kelly is playing pickleball.
I am. I like it. It's so fun. You know what I wanted to mention is that, so we have been experimenting with a few tests. We can talk about that more. But you know what I really love that you showed me, Dr. Ketchman?
Yeah.
You showed me that you can measure inflammation in a very simple way. So on your leg, right next to kind of the calf bone here, you kind of find where that bone is here, and then you put your finger on it and you press on it, and then given the amount of time that it takes to fill back up with blood and for you to see, it indicates where your inflammation is. That it's so smart. Even if you just want to start kind of with a base to understand your body and do that, you're going to notice the difference. If you're really having inflammation, then that dent is going to kind of just stay there. It's not going to pop right back up.
Yeah. So
do that for yourself. Get kind of an idea of how you can, even with your ankles, you can even tell when people really have a lot of inflammation in their body. That was a really smart thing to share.
Yeah, and we teach about other tests you do to check for ketones.
Yes.
For example, we'll describe that on some of the other DVDs, where you can check just the urine, so it's real cheap.
Yeah.
And that material is available online, and we'll teach you that in more detail. Totally.
We can put some of the ones we've been experimenting with, but we have a good 3 or 4 different, a very affordable type of tests that can help you along to see how you're doing, because it's really motivating to work hard and then take a test and say, wow, I really have the power to change these results, and to see them in real time. Having those tests are
that's almost like stepping on a scale, like I was in Atlanta 4 days and eating out every day, and I was really concerned, but when I stepped on my scale this morning, it was exactly the same as I left. I will admit there was a big smile on my face, and so it will be on yours by confirming it by a proper blood test and the weight scale, and you're looking good, and you'll be a lot happier.
Absolutely. Yeah, now your body can make all those great endorphins, and your focus is better, and your skin is better, and it all just works together.
And you'll be dancing down the street.
Yeah.
We do this because we care about you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Well, let me say though, if you'd like to visit the website, please go ahead and do that. I think this was a great show, and I've enjoyed having you and talking with you so much. And as always, stay inspired.